exposes wrongdoing, holds the powerful accountable. The I-Team.
A Jacksonville police officer caught on video making an obscene gesture to a man who had called for help is now the subject of an internal investigation after the I-Team showed the video to the sheriff's office.
And we want to warn you that you may find some of the content of this story disturbing. This is the incident caught on surveillance camera last month at a convenience store in Arlington. It upset the owner so much he contacted I-Team reporter Tarek Miner. Tonight, Tarek shows us how a call for help led to this.
Convenience store owner Fahim Siddiqui called the I-Team because he says he and his customers don't deserve to be treated like this, regardless of how frustrated this officer might have been. The JSO officer, who we've identified as Howard Saunders, gave him the middle finger because the officer was upset that the store owner wouldn't agree to sign a trespass warrant on a man who insisted he needed medical attention.
He looks at me, he says, "Screw you." He turns his back, walks to his car, throws his hand in the air with his middle finger up and gets in the car, flicks me off one more time and drives off. It was very rude and disrespectful.
Convenience store owner Fahim Siddiqui says the actions of this JSO officer are unbecoming of the position he holds as a patrol deputy. He says it all started earlier in the night when this unidentified homeless man walks into the university food mart complaining that he's in pain and is having a heart attack.
He was sick. He's older, he's in his late 50s, he was having chest pain. I'm not a doctor, but if somebody's having chest pain, they need medical assistance.
Siddiqui says the man in this video frequents his store, so he called Jacksonville sheriff's officers and paramedics to help, both arriving to the store within minutes. But while examining the man, Siddiqui says police and paramedics, quote, talked the man down and made the decision not to transport him based on their examination.
When rescue showed up, they're very unprofessional with the gentleman because he had been to the hospital many times before.
After the decision was made not to transport the man to the hospital, Siddiqui says Officer Saunders, seen here wearing glasses, urged him to sign a trespass warrant so the man would be arrested if he came back again. Siddiqui says he argued with police, telling them that is not the reason why he called.
He just wanted them gone. He didn't care where the guy went. He didn't care that he had a medical emergency or he was having a heart attack or whatever the case was. He just wanted to take him to jail. He didn't have a reason. He was very frustrated. He was very upset. He said, I had to leave, in a very loud voice. I had to leave all the way from the south side cussing. He was cursing. He's like, I had to leave all the way from the south side to come here, and this is it. Like, he's having a medical issue. What do you mean this is it? And I looked at him, I said, sir, this is your job.
Siddiqui says words were exchanged between him and Officer Saunders, and before leaving, Saunders gave him the middle finger while returning to his police cruiser. Siddiqui, who says he graduated from the police academy himself, doesn't want the officer to lose his job. He wants Saunders to be better aware of a strain that exists between police and the community. Siddiqui says the obscene gesture doesn't help.
We need to be able to rely on the police, that the police is going to be there and the police is going to be a professional.
By flipping off the owner, that is not the violation of the century. It's not a major violation, but still it's something that shouldn't be done because it doesn't make the department look good.
News for Jack's crime and safety analyst Gil Smith says the gesture violates the police department's code of conduct, and he sums it up to a rookie mistake.
I mean, flipping him off and leaving is very unprofessional. It's something that he should not do. However, when you're a younger officer on the department, just a couple of years, it takes time to develop that patience. That's not an excuse. That's just the way it is.
An hour after the incident, surveillance video shows the homeless man returning to the store, where Siddiqui once again calls paramedics, but this time he was transported to the hospital. A spokesman for JFRD tells me that all emergency responders on scene make the determination of whether or not to transport a patient based upon a series of medical evaluations. Now, they would not speak specifically about this case, citing privacy laws. As for Officer Howard Saunders, we checked into his history with the police department. He was sworn in June of 2015. We've also learned he was recently commended by JSO Sheriff Mike Williams in April for his diligence in tracking down a dangerous felon who was arrested for a robbery. Now, JSO's Director of Patrol and Enforcement released this statement to the I-Team. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office has turned this matter over to Internal Affairs for administrative review. We would like to remind the public that our officers are held to the highest standard of conduct, and those who are found administratively to have failed in meeting those standards will be counseled, receive remediation through training, and as warranted, receive discipline. The complaint process in this case worked. The sergeant inquired of the store owner about filing a formal complaint, and the store owner said yes. Upon receiving a copy of the video from News4Jax, I personally had an IA filed open, which now places this matter under review.
So, Tarek, did Officer Saunders have anything to say about why he reacted that way?
Well, we did put in a request to speak with Officer Saunders. JSO told us that he is on his days off, but that request was forwarded to him. We'll certainly give him the opportunity to tell his side of the story to the I-Team if he responds.
Thank you, Tarek.